Hey folks, Wayne with Kajika Life here. Today I want to do a little bit of experimenting with the Firebox stove, and I'm going to be doing a Swedish torch style fire in it, and I think it has a lot of advantages. So anyways, stick around, hope you enjoy. I'm just going to go ahead and open up this this Firebox here, and you all like the nice little sleeve that I made for it. A little bit of leather from an old sofa, and some artificial sinew around the sides, and just a little wooden toggle here, and bingo, you have a sleeve. I just got a little, like a bungee kind of thing going over here to tighten it off. But yeah, this this whole Swedish fire torch, I think has a lot of benefits, because it enables you to burn your fire for quite a long time. So if you're trying to do multi-cooking, like boil some water and then maybe cook a meal, but you don't want necessarily like the huge flame coming up, because it's always nicer to cook on coals, you have that advantage. So really all I'm doing for the Swedish fire torch is I'm just cutting the wood into, approximate lengths. And then I'm just putting one piece in each corner. Now, wrong way. There. Now you see that piece here might be a little too stout, so I'll have to cut that one down a bit. So here, this should fit better. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some birch bark here, and I'm going to just stuff it in between the logs like that. So I'm just going to try to get it pretty much dead set in the center. And like, I'm no expert with this stove, but I'm going to see if this, gives off enough. And also, I'm going to break up these small twigs and set them in there as well, and see once I light the birch bark, if it generates enough heat to actually catch these logs. So we'll see. All right, well, let's get her started. We're just going to try to scrape up some dust here, get a good amount of it, so that we know that we got some good dry material. That, of course, is if the wind could stop blowing it away. Now, you don't always need that much to get your fire going. What I like to do is I like to have a little small piece on the side, so that when this does ignite, that I have something that I can transfer to it, and then from there transfer it directly into my stove. So let's see how that works. Oh, that should take off the rest, start up the rest of the birch bark. So let's see how that goes. Oh yeah. Ooh, nice on the hands. So you've got a pretty good burn going on. Concentrated mostly in the center of the of those small logs that are cut. And all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to try to just melt this snow by putting it on top of the stove and just see how long it takes for a boil. Now, I think a lot of the smoke that we're getting here has to do with the dampness of the wood, but it still seems to be focusing around the center, which is exactly what I wanted. So we're still getting that nice flame that's concentrated right in between the 4 logs. Let's see if I can just zoom in a little. I think one of the issues I'm having is the wood is damp. When I've seen demonstrations of this done online, it seems to center a lot more. But then again, the wood I'm using is, I can hear it hissing, so I know it's not the driest, but it's still creating a good draft. I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but there's definitely a flame going right out the center in between those the 4 logs that are packed in there. So it's doing what it's supposed to. Yeah, I think the log should be a little more tight within. Like I got one that's caving in, which is probably, there we go. Yeah, okay, so I see one problem. See if I can't fix that quickly. Just by trying to turn this log. There we go. So, as you can see, the fire sticks come in handy for multiple of uses. There, now it's coming right out the center. So this thing is really burning nicely. And what I'm going to do is once most of the flame goes down, you're going to see how much embers are left in here. And what I think is great is that for boiling your water, you need, you want to try to get as much BTUs out of this as you can. And I think it's going to do fine. And then what happens is that you're left with very, very strong embers, which is probably the greatest thing to cook on. I mean, you can control it a lot more. And I'll show you what I mean once this burns down, about the amount of coals that you have here for cooking without a flame. That's almost boiling. We'll just leave that for a few more minutes and we'll check back on it. I don't know if the camera can pick this up, but one of the things that I was concerned about when I purchased this stove, and I spoke to Steve at Firebox, and what he told me was pretty bang on. My worry was that these little outlet that you have here that you can feed your sticks in to, for your fire, you've got one on this side and one on this side here, that there'd be a lot of embers that would fall out. And he told me that it was like minimal, and I got to admit, it's exactly that. As you can see, there's nothing falling out of the stove from those slots on either side. So I'm really happy about that. So it contains the fire quite well. And this was the part I was telling you to cook on. You've got beautiful big embers in there that are heating really nice and evenly, and great for cooking, grilling steak, or if you're trying to more control the amount of heat that's going on your pan instead of having a roaring flame going right under it, this is what you get. Real nice hot embers. Well folks, there you have it. Another way that you can use the folding firebox. Again, such a versatile stove. I find that doing the Swedish fire torch is an excellent way if you want to multi-cook. Boil your water when you're getting the initial flame to get a quick boil for your coffee or porridge or whatever else. But also, once the flame dies down and you're left with those big embers, it's still kicking off quite a bit of heat, which is a real good heat to be able to simmer things on or fry a steak or things you want a little bit more control on. Anyways, I hope this was helpful. Thanks for joining me. And like usual, be good to Mother Earth.